Hello. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks. And welcome to Granny Rocks, Healing Through Words and Music.
Yeah.
And before I go on and tell you what I'm going to talk about tonight, let's introduce you to
James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. I'll be handling the chat tonight, so please chat with us. Whatever you care to say, I'll pass it on to Beth, and she'll talk to you directly.
Exactly. You talk to me now, I talk to you now. Now, if you write in the chat after the show, then I'm not live and you're not live, and I can't talk to you directly, but I will send you a comment.
Yes.
So there is always another opportunity. And tonight I want to talk about inner conflicts. See, this is an inner conflict. It's like, ooh, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that. And why we have them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do they come from and how are they impacting us?
Yeah.
But before I do,
welcome to the show, Granny Rocks, where Granny shares her wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense with us every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. So thanks for joining us, and now over to Granny.
well, sometimes we don't even know we have an inner conflict. We think everything is just hunky-dory, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going straight to that goal right over there. Okay,
Right.
I'm on my way to the goal. So, and then something happens. It's like, oh, I have a problem. I get waylaid. Something else comes up. I have an emergency phone call, and I have to do that instead. Or I just, I find myself flinching, stopping. And I don't know why. I say, oh, well, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this, it's because of that. It's everything but me. So it could be, this could happen to you. I'm sure it has happened to everybody, but I can't say that it happens to everybody because then there's always somebody who'll say, well, that's not true for me, and then that's going to completely discredit everything. Well, it looks like
By the way, we
have
already have a number of comments from people.
Ooh.
Elizabeth says hello and sends a red heart of love.
Hello, hello.
Tracy also says hello and also sends a heart of love
Excellent.
and caring. Amy says hi, Beth and James, and she sends 5 hearts
Oh
of
my
love.
God. Oh my
Wow,
God.
a whole
Oh
lot
my
of love.
God.
And Elizabeth says hi.
Hello.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, everybody. So happy to see you. So,
That was the wave of a hand that she sent with that.
oh, that's so cool. So, anyway, sometimes we really don't know that we have an inner conflict. We just know that we're so frustrated because seems like we. Now, I'm not saying that every delay or block is
Mhm.
based on inner conflict. Oh my
We
goodness.
have some more comments.
Okay.
Blanquita says hello, Beth and James. Well, hello, Blanquita.
Blanquita, buenas noches.
Yes. And Todd sends multitudinous hearts of love.
Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you,
And
thank
Blanquita
you.
sends one great big heart of love.
I'll take
There's
it.
a lot of little ones.
I'll take it. So, and sometimes we are the cause of somebody else's inner conflict. But when you hear about the causes of inner conflict, you might be able to say, well, honestly, I think I have participated in that on the other side. So, all right, let's say you have one parent who wants you to be successful. Let's say your mother. Like, oh, my daughter or my son, I'm so proud of them. I want them to be successful. They're successful. Okay, now. And then let's say we have another parent. Oh, looks like we have
And
another
Catalina
comment.
says hello and sends a heart of love
Hello,
as well. Thank you,
Catalina.
Catalina.
Hello, love back. Oh, it's so nice to see all of you tonight. So, now,
Nick says good evening and sends a wave.
oh,
Hello.
welcome back, Nick. So great to see you, too. So, let's say your mother really wants you to be successful. Maybe not even for the right reasons. Like, oh, it's going to make her look like I'm the top. I'm the top. I'm the best mother in the world. My children are all successful. But supposing your father, for example, isn't feeling good about himself, and he might be kind of like grumpy about you being successful because he doesn't feel successful. And maybe he yells at you about something else entirely, of course. He's not recognizing what's going on, or he's beating you up on a regular basis, and it's really painful. And you say, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? If I am successful, my mother will be happy. And if I am successful, my father will be annoyed, pissed, angry,
And hostile.
hostile, even violent. So what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So this is the beginning of the inner conflict. Now, let's talk about another way that that can show up. Let's say you have a sibling, for those of you who are not English speaker, that means like a brother or a sister, right? And your sibling is older than you. And you're smarter than they are. And it's very important to them. Being smart is important to them because it's important to your mother, right? But anyway, so that sibling, and you depend on them because that's most of the love you get is from them. How are they going to feel if you're shining? They might feel really bad about themselves. So without even realizing it, what could they possibly do?
They could be unhappy with you.
That's right, and they might withdraw their love. And they don't even have a clue that they're doing it. You know, they think, well, my bratty little sister, who wants to have anything to do with her? And so suddenly there you are, without a friend. Oh, all alone. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, honestly, you've got a big problem there because that sibling doesn't want you to be smart. And you're afraid of losing the only love you have. And so you go, I don't know. So maybe you figure out some way to make them puff them up. Like, oh, I know. I can make them feel smart in athletics or nuclear physics or whatever. And I can be smart in something else. So now you've limited where you can be smart. Or maybe you're scared of being smart at all. And now let me talk about it's not just that. Sometimes it's not just the withdrawal of love.
And by the way, Eileen says lots of hearts of love. Lots of hearts of love. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. So are you going to go way back down again somehow? Eileen got lost. Thank you for catching that, James. So sometimes it gets worse than that. Sometimes your sibling will hit you. They have no idea why. They think they're hitting you for some other reason. But it's like as soon as you do well, they hit you. Or one of your parents hits you. Or you live in a neighborhood where everybody wants to be smart. See, I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. Everybody wanted their children to be smart. They didn't want them to be athletes. They didn't necessarily want them to be rich, but a lot of them wanted their children to be smart. So supposing, and I'm not saying being smart is better than anything else. I'm just giving this as an example. So these kids feel so much pressure to be smart. And then here you are, and you're like naturally just like, woo, woo. Oh, my hand is up. Teacher, teacher. Or you get promoted to a special class or whatever it is. And those poor kids, like, what's wrong with you? Why is she doing better than you are? Or they just feel it even if nobody says anything. Do you know that bullying can come from that, can't it? I mean, there's a lot of things that cause bullying, like kids being abused, right? They have to abuse somebody else. But this is all connected. So I remember as a child that the children made fun of me, and I didn't have any friends. So you see, here we have just a couple of examples of why you might feel conflicted about being smart or about being successful. Now, let's say you're beautiful and your mother used to be a beauty queen. And she's beginning to sag, right? And she hasn't come to terms with that. See, I don't have that problem. I was never a beauty queen. So you see what I mean? I didn't have that issue. So the mother might be like dolling herself up and trying to put you in something frumpy or or walk around, just ignoring your needs because she doesn't want you to get ahead of her. See, some parents try to get ahead through their children. Like, oh, I don't think I'm that smart, but my daughter is so amazing, right? So she's living through you. But it could be that she is competing with you. So it could be about beauty, it could be about intelligence, it could be about talent. You play the piano better than anybody else in the house, or you're a better scientist, or you ride a bicycle, or you're more athletic, or you're more sexy. Now let's talk about sexy for a minute. Supposing you grew up in a culture that disapproved of normal human sexuality, and many of you did grow up in that kind of culture, right? So,
especially a religious culture.
Exactly. So, especially if you're a girl, right? So, what's going to happen? You start having sexual feelings, and you're kind of cute, and people are starting to get attracted to you, and your parents don't like it, and all of a sudden they're down on you, and they're trying to break up every boyfriend who ever shows up, or they don't like the way they're dressing, or something like that, because you shouldn't be that way. So they beat you down. They beat you down. And that, do you see what I'm saying? Let's say by nature you are sexual, or you're expressive, or you're smart, or you're talented, or you're gifted, or you're athletic, or you're good, or you're kind, or you're an accomplished dishwasher, whatever it is. I'm serious. I mean, anything that you have that might cause jealousy in someone else might end up causing you pain, the loss of love, anger, punishment even, physical, mental withdrawal of the person you want that love from. Your whole society, you may absolutely start hiding all your gifts, right? You don't want you want to fit in. You don't want to be ostracized, which means left out, And so now you have an inner conflict.
Mhm.
Now, supposing to add to all this, you have a social thing going on, like you're black and you're not supposed to be intelligent. Maybe you're getting some kind of message from your society. Oh no, you're not supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be athletic, or you're supposed to be this or that. Now, I happen to have been born into a Jewish family at the end of World War II, the at least the war in Europe, and being Jewish was not a good thing.
A very dangerous
A
thing.
very dangerous thing. My relatives in Europe, that's where they were, went to concentration camps. Now, why did people not like the Jews? Well, I'll tell you one of the reasons is because Jews were smart and go getters and supported one another. And I have heard it in so many disguised forms. Now, I'm not saying this is happening now. I don't really know because I don't care anyway. I don't listen to that. But when I was growing up, it was definitely in the culture. You know, it's like Jewish people, they'll cheat you, they're stingy, too smart, they're too successful, they're too big for their britches. And I remember looking at all these very successful doctors, scientists, lawyers. It's like you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You couldn't get into medical school if you were Jewish. And then all of a sudden you could get into medical school, and then it seemed like all the doctors were Jewish, right? And then all the lawyers were Jewish, and all the people in Hollywood were Jewish, who were behind the scenes, and the scientists, Einstein, right? What's wrong with these people, right? They set this bar. They're fighting against all that prejudice and oppression, and they're still doing well. Let's get them. They're running the world. They're making money. They're this. They're that. And I saw it. And it was scary because, see, in my awareness, having been born at this time, being Jewish meant you were dead. You went to a concentration camp.
Yeah, or at least a target to be attacked.
Or you were a target to be attacked. So what I would like you to do, and I see that we're going in and out with the live stream. We're having problems with our internet provider for whatever reason, but I hope that you guys have not lost us because it says we're still live, right?
Yeah.
So don't you think I have some inner conflict? Don't you think that and I just realized this myself, that being successful means standing out, and standing out means being a target. So now I'm not only talking about myself, guys, I want you to look at yourself. So just let's give it a moment. I'll be playing the piano for a minute, and I want you to think about some causes of inner conflict. Oh, good.
By the way, Amy says it all looks fine. No loss of continuity.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for letting us know. So, what kind of inner conflict could you have about doing well, about maybe being successful? I don't mean that success is in itself important, because I don't believe that. I mean, you can be a wonderful person and totally anonymous and a better person than the one who's out in front. But I mean, it could be anything. It could be not just success in the worldly term, but self-realized. You might be afraid to get antagonism from the people you're helping. As a counselor, I often get antagonism from people that I'm helping because they're being challenged. So, okay, inner conflict, inner conflict, inner conflict. So take a moment and think about what factors in your life. Could it be in your immediate environment, your family? It could be in your community, in your society, your peers, people of your age. It could be the whole world, right? Don't be uppity, right? Right? You might get lynched. So think about that for a minute. So what kind of inner conflict could you be suffering from? And put it in the chat.
Oh, here's one. Shall we share this one now?
Certainly.
Tracy says, expressing my natural joy and light has repeatedly resulted in anger, jealousy, and others wanting to shut me down.
Ouch, 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 ouch. And how did that impact you? It probably created inner conflict about being joyful and your natural self-expression, and maybe you even suppressed it. And every time you start going towards it, that fear comes up and you don't even know where it comes from.
Right, here's another one. Eileen says, my brother and I are not speaking because we're on opposite sides politically.
Well, that's could be. You could say, well, he's trying to shut you down because you're on opposite sides. But Eileen, look a little bit deeper, because maybe that not speaking is coming from something else that comes further back. Do you understand what I mean? So I'm not talking about being on opposite sides politically. I'm talking about jealousy. I'm talking about the need to repress you, or maybe you having a need to repress him. So think about that. Anybody else have something they would like to share?
Well, I think there's a natural conflict about trying to fit in to societal expectations, like I chose to go into the legal profession to fit in and be successful in the eyes of the world. And when in fact I felt more affinity for making music and psychological interests and so on. So there was a conflict going on for me with all of that.
Right.
Oh, here's another one. Amy says, doing well in school and in music made others jealous. I wanted to be as fully expressed as possible, but it seemed to be at the cost of friendships.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, as I pointed out earlier, you can have one parent who wants you to be successful and another parent that doesn't want you to be successful. Then you have to choose, are you going to please this one? Are you going to please that one? And one of them may give you love, but the other one may beat you. So are you going to go for the love, or are you going to try to avoid the beating? And that's absolutely for sure. So Eileen, I hope you're thinking about what I said. And yes, so Amy, this would be a real incentive for you to just shut down and not do well, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I have another one. Another inner conflict is wanting to go for the win, or for what's my best interest, as opposed to what's for the highest good of all. I might feel guilt.
Right. Oh, it looks like Eileen is going to be thinking.
I'll be thinking, she says.
So you don't want to feel your own guilt about,
Right.
Oh, I really want to go for money, but I'd be embarrassed because my religion is against it. So I don't want anybody to know that I really am going for money, so I will make sure that I never make any money. Or if I do, it has to be on the side, nobody notices that I'm going after it. Some people do that. Anybody else want to share something where they might have an inner conflict? So, while you're thinking about that, do you realize how that makes us stuck? Stuck. We can't go this way. We can't go that way. Every time we start going this way, fear comes up or conflict comes up within us. And so, we don't go anywhere. There
Or we
we
just
go.
inhibit how much we can go.
That's right. Right. And you can't always trust what people say because let's say your mother says, I really want you to be so successful, but deep down inside she's jealous because you have opportunities or looks or talents that she doesn't have or she didn't have opportunities to develop them, and it brings up pain. It doesn't mean that the people are bad. See, usually what it is that it's bringing up pain for other people. So I want you to also think about how you may withdraw support or punish or actually hurt people because of your own pain and what impact that has on them. Friends, children, anybody. Well, I'm out of time. So I better get busy here because we have got to go to our group. We have a group at 7 p.m. Pacific time called Seeing Through New Glasses, where we talk about all of this stuff. Whatever we talk about on the show, we talk about it in depth in a video conference, and everybody gets to really see themselves much more clearly.
And anyone can join if you just let us know in advance. And there is a cost, but that you get a lot of personal attention and support within the group.
That's right. It's really a great group, and if you can't, if you want to register and you don't know how, you write to me, Beth at bethgreen.org. Anyway, I better shut up. I have an inner conflict between going on with the show and ending it so I can get over to the
Do
other
you want to
group.
announce what you're doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I'm playing the piano. Beth Green's magical piano improvisations. And you are invited to come 7 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday night. And I would be happy to see you then or see you next Wednesday on our Granny Rock show. Please leave your comments. Please like the show, love the show, share this show. So many people are suffering from this. It would be so important if you could take that step to share the show with people who need this kind of support.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
thank you for coming. We love our audience. We'll see you again soon.
Yes. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.